And I will need help of sharing, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
I already given a co-host, but I will also share as you requested Nitin Singh Prabhu. Want me to share, Mataji?
Yeah, I need
I
help
will
in
share.
sharing. Hare
You want to
Krishna?
share yourself or you want me to share?
Yeah, I want to be shared, Prabhu.
Already given you co-host, Mataji, you can you access now.
Actually, na voice quality will differ and slides will not, the book will not show clearly. So I think you can share it.
Okay, I'll share. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah,
Okay.
shall I start, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. First, I will pray to Lord Chaitanya, and then we will start our session of today. Hare Krishna. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद नमो महावदानाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिषे नमः. So I pay my sincere obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Now we will start our today's session. We are studying Chaitanya Charitamrta Madhya Leela, and at last time Prabhuji has covered up to, I think, up to verse 358, and now we'll start from verse 359. Prabhuji, we have to start from verse 359. We'll start with this 59. अनंत चैतन्य लीला कही ते न जानी लोभे लज्जा खाना तार करी ताना तानी. Translation: the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited. No one can properly describe his activities, yet I make the attempt out of greed. This but reveals my business. By this expression of Krishnadas Kaviraj, what will take the message, or what we will learn, we will going to discuss by this verse. Now, what he is saying, Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited. Means we can't count those pastimes, and those are highly unlimited. We can say infinite, and no one can properly describe it even. There is nobody who will describe these pastimes in correct language or in proper bhavas also. We are nothing in front of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is nothing but Krishna, Swayam Krishna. So he is knowing that truth, and what he says, that no one can be properly able to describe his activities or the pastimes. Even we are but the jivas, and we are not able to describe his pastimes or his all leelas, whatever those are happening, or whatever those are the activities of Lord Chaitanya. But what he is saying, I make the attempt out of greed. Now here the quality of a pure devotee we are going to study. What he is saying, I make the attempt out of greed. Now we have heard that we must have lolem, or that greed must be in us about Krishna Katha or Hari Katha, and that greed will enlighten us more and more in path of bhakti. So from this sentence, what we are going to learn, that every pure devotee has that lolem, and it is the indication that he is in Shuddha Sattva, or he is progressing towards Shuddha Sattva Guna, or he has been set in Shuddha Sattva, or how Lord is in pure Sattva Guna or Shuddha Sattva. So by this quality of talks of devotees, or by conversation of devotees, or by expressions of devotees, we will get to know that how is the quality of that devotee. Of course, Krishnaraj Kaviraj is one of the pure devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and so out of modesty, what he is saying, or out of humility, what he is saying, that though I have that greed, and this because of this greed, what it will reveal my shamelessness. So what it will indicate, this is again the quality of your devotee. Though he is highly in Krishna prema, or he has been uh, highly immersed in prema bhakti, but what you will consider him, he will consider him like, I'm a minor, I'm nobody, I'm nothing in front of Krishna, and I'm like a hina dina in front of Krishna. And what he will consider himself, like a very minor, or I'm nothing, nobody in front of Krishna. What happens about this? Exactly opposite we think, na? I am body and I am somebody in front of Krishna. It happens like us, na? It happens about us. And what do we think? That I am somebody or I am body. I am in illusion. What happens? I used to be in illusion that I am body, and because of that, we think that I am somebody. है ना? So it happens like this way about us. But what the pure devotee thinks about himself, that I am nobody, I am nothing in front of Krishna, and I am the only loving, affectionate servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup hai Nityera Krishna Das. So he used to remind every time his Nitya Swarupa, that is, he is Anu Dasa of Lord Chaitanya, and he used to serve like that way. And because of that pure prema, or because of that pure devotional service, and because of that pure love about Krishna, how Krishnaraj Kaviraj is expressing that I am making the attempt out of greed, and it will reveal my shamelessness. So it is the sign of pure devotee, that always he used to be in Krishna prema, or he is immersed in Krishna prema, and because of that prema, out of that prema, he is expressing like this. And from this was what we will have to understand, or what we will have to learn, that we used to be like this way. I am nothing in front of Krishna, and uh, I am his like a affectionate, loving servant, and who is like this way, who is the pure duty. The pure duty is like a very humble, pure, highly pure, and a very affectionate servant of Krishna. And like this way, we have to develop such a devotional attitude and such a humility in us. And this is the takeaway message from this verse. Now we will switch on to next verse. प्रभुर तीर्थ यात्रा कथा सुने ये जन, चैतन्य चरणे पाय गाढ़ प्रेम धन. Translation: whoever hears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrim to various holy places attains the riches of very deep ecstatic love. Now, from this verse, we have to study very attractive points, I will say, or very interesting points from this purport of this verse. So, what Krishnaraj Kaviraj has expressed in this in this purport, that whoever listens or hears Krishna Katha or pastimes of Lord Chaitanya used to attain the deep ascetic love. But for attaining that deep ascetic love, or attaining the position of achieving that deep ascetic love, or for achieving that deep ascetic love, what will be our quality, or which are the qualities we must have, and which are the qualities we must not have. So we have to evaluate these things, and we have to think it deeply. And for that process, Bhakti Vinod, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has expressed his thoughts, and we are going to discuss one by one. So what he says, the impersonalists imagine some forms of absolute truth through the direct perception of their senses. What impersonalists do? They imagine some forms of Lord, and the impersonalist worships such imaginary forms only. And those used to worship such imaginary forms by their inferences only. And what in Srimad Bhagavatam, or what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has did, those won't accept such sense gratification based worships of Lord. It has no any spiritual value, or it is not having any spiritual significance, because those are the Mayavadis. What those do? Those used to imagine only. And such a imaginary Lord's worship is not permissible by Bhagavata, or it is not accepted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Mayavadis, what they do, they imagine themselves as I am Supreme Lord, and they imagine that Supreme Lord has no any personal form, and all the forms are like this way. Those are only imaginary. It's like a will-o-wisp or a flower in the sky. What it means, will-o-wisp is what? Those are the fireballs created by the oxidation process of compounds like or gases like methane or organophosphates, and it is because of decaying processes. Those are like the imaginary forms. And what are the stories about this? Those are the like the fairy tales, or those are the like ghosts, or those are like fire ghosts. It has been considered like this. Those are such stories about it, but it is not like that way. Those are the imaginary forms only. And both Mayavadis, means this impersonalists and Mayavadis, those all are with this their imaginary deity worships, and those used to imagine only forms of the god. But those are misguided always, because those are wrong in perception with God. According to them, deity worship is what that the deity worship, they consider it as a illusion of Maya. Means we used to worship a deity, and they used to consider it as a illusion of Maya. uh, or it is considered as the soul is conditioned, and it is when soul is conditioned soul, and because of illusion we used to worship the deity. It is considered like this way. And according to them, worship is also uh, uh, did or act in the did in the Maya. So however, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, what he has said, or what Srimad Bhagavatam says, we have to know it thoroughly. So in this case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained the Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. What it explains, that Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva is having such a philosophy, means that philosophy holds that Supreme Lord is simultaneously one with and different from its creation. Means what? There is unity in diversity. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has defeated all those fruitive workers or speculative empiric philosophers or these mystic yogis. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'm not getting the screen, Prabhu.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
yes, Mataji, continue, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Can
I'm
you
not
hear
getting
me?
the screen, Prabhu.
Can you hear me?
Prabhuji, I am not getting the screen. I'm
You
not.
want I thought you are speaking, so I just removed the screen share. So once you start, so you want me to keep the screen share on?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It will be easier for all of you to understand. So I'm,
Okay.
uh, yeah. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has discussed the Achinta Bheda Tattva, and by this way he has defeated all the philosophers who are having the wrong philosophies, and those realizations are simply the wastage of time only. Now, to set the example by implementation and by his activities, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has did, he has personally visited all the temples and the various holy places, and by means of his actions or by means of his implementations, he has exhibited his aesthetic love and his aesthetic love for supreme personality of godhead. Like this way he has expressed by his actions. Now there is difference between the act of Vaishnava and non-devotee. When a Vaishnava visits a temple, there is he has means he has different vision, and when non-devotee visits a temple, he has different vision. When Vaishnava visits temple, he know that when for example, when Vaishnava will visit a temple of Shiva, he know that Shiva is not different from the Lord, but he is still different from the Lord. But means that it is like this way Achinta Beda Tattva we used to follow, that what do we think, that Lord Shiva is having 84% qualities of Lord, but he is still in, but he is still different from the Lord. It can be explained by means of example of milk and yogurt. So yogurt is nothing but the milk, but at the same time the yogurt is not a milk, or it cannot be a milk. Like this way we can understand this Achint Veda Tattva. And like this way a Vaishnava has a vision. But what non-devotee think? Non-devotee thinks that uh, means all the deities, whenever he visits any temple, or whenever he will visit a temple of Shiva also, what he will think that that deity is imaginary, and all the forms of such a deities are imaginary, and those won't accept the personalized form of Lord, or those won't accept a Lord as a person. And this is the difference between non-devotee and a Vaishnava, or a pure Vaishnava. Now, what is the vision here? We have to consider, means a Vaishnava or a pure devotee has to consider, or he used to consider, we will say that he used to consider every living being or non-living being as a energy of Lord, or energical form of Lord, and he used to see, or he used to remind Lord in that at that moment. Means whenever he will see living or non-living or any material thing, he will remind the Lord at that time, because everything is created by Lord, and everywhere there is Lord, and so he will see the Lord in every living or non-living creature. And like this way Vaishnava has the vision. Now for that example, and for that setting the examples, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally visited all the temples and various places, and like this way he immediately has exhibited his ecstatic love for the supreme personality of Godhead. Now we'll discuss some other points also, which are discussed in this purport of in this great purport. Now, what is the position of Lord? We know that is absolute truth, or God is everything. But this does not mean that everything is God. That is to be understood. That for this reason, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers has visited the temple, and all the means all the temples in South. Those have been visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they did not see them in same way as impersonally see, and everyone should follow the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while visiting the temples. And this is the takeaway lesson for us, that we have to follow the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we are in Guru Shishya Parampara, and we have to follow the footsteps of our acharyas. And like this way, he has visited the temples. Now another example about Sergius, we will discuss here, that what such a mundane Sergius think, that those used to think that gopis have visited the temple of Mata Katyayani and prayed a lot, so we have to also visit the temple of Mata Katyayani. But there is a difference between bhakta and abhakta. What is the difference? The gopis have prayed Katyayani to grant them Krishna as their husband, but what that Sahjiya will do, he will pray Lord for his material desires, and it is not a pure devotional practice. And this is the difference between Vaishnavas visit and non-devotees visit. Now we will learn another point, that what happens here. Some logicians used to have their own theories, and by not understanding the process of disciplic successions, logicians used to put forward their theories. And what is their theory? Those used to put in front of us Panchopasana. Means what? Those used to worship five deities, namely Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Sun God, and Ganesha. And what does they do? They used to imagine one of the god is like a lord or like a supreme lord, and those used to imagine that one of them is supreme lord, and other rest of all are not like a lord. And it is only their imagination, and such imagination is not accepted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or it is not accepted in Srimad Bhagavatam, or such imaginary deity worship is not accepted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And such a Vaishnavas who used to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this imaginary deity worship is now what it has got form. It has been transformed in the concept of Mayavadis, or Mayavadis, or sometimes those become atheists also. So it's like that way the process used to happen. But here, what's the risk or what's the danger here? That whichever person or whosoever those want to be Krishna consciousness, or those are willing to be Krishna consciousness, or willing to be in Krishna consciousness, those people used to get victimized by such Mayavadis. Or what is the second risk over here? Those used to turn sometimes atheist also. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has established the process of self-realization by his own personal behavior, by self-example. And and like this way he has followed, though he is Lord himself. He has appeared in the form of sannyasi devotee, but what he did, he has proved by his self example, by following all the rules of disciplic succession, and by his personal behavior. He has set himself as an example in front of us, and by means of this, uh, he has become a great example for us, also, as well as he is Lord. He is Lord also. But we have to learn from this, is that we have to follow the footprints of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. And this is the takeaway message for us from this verse. Prabhu, next verse. चैतन्य चरित सुना श्रद्धा भक्ति करी, मात्सर्य छाड़िया मुखे बोल हरि हरि. Translation. Please hear the translated pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and devotion, giving up envy of the Lord. Everyone chant the Lord's holy name, Hari. Now here, there is another instruction by Krishna Raj Kaviraj that he is instructing us, please hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and devotion. So these two words are important, faith and devotion, and giving up envy of the Lord. And everyone chant the Lord's holy name, Hari Hari. That Hare Krishna Mahamantra we have to chant. Now we will learn some beautiful points by this translation, that what he is doing, he is requesting us to hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Means what? That pure devotee has such a quality that he is always he is always in requesting mode, or always he is with pray with his prayers or with his requests, and this will show his humility. And also what he is telling us, that he is telling us to hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and with faith, and he is telling it to hear with faith and devotion. So faith and devotion are important in path of bhakti. But what happens about us, that we won't have faith, or we are not having complete surrenders towards the Lord. And what we will do, we used to show only we are humble, or we are having humility. I'm not criticizing anybody, because here there are many great exalted devotees sitting in the class, but I'm just telling what happens about neophytes like me, and I'm just explaining that what happens, we used to show only humility by by having Vaishnav Poshak, Tilak Kanti, and we used to following and trying to serve Lord, following all the regulative principles. We used to do every attempt and every effort in the path of the bhakti, but still we have not been fully surrendered, and that's why what happens about neophytes like me, or about neophytes, that those used to show their humility, but it's not the actual humility expressed by their heart. And what happens here, that there are feeling of envy about the Lord, or there is a feeling of envy, and it is not noticed by those. What happens here, that whenever we used to serve the Lord, we consider ourselves as I am somebody, or either I am somebody, or we used to be in illusion that I am body. And it happens with us, and we are not knowing, we are ignorant, because we are not purified devotees, and it happens like that. And whenever there are such a feelings of false ego, that I am body and I am somebody, then then how it is possible that there is a love in our heart? Because there are the anarthas only, because of these feelings, because of this false ego and everything we are having with all those anarthas. And if the heart is full of such a anarthas, how there will be a love for the Lord, or how there are chances that love can exist for the Lord? No, it will not happen. And so we have to free ourselves from the feeling that I am body or I am somebody. Most of the times we are with that feeling, because we are the under the impact of Maya, and Maya is with three modes of three modes of Maya has its three modes. So that's why we have to always be in consideration that I am the loving, affectionate servant of the Lord. We have to develop that thought, or we have to with that thinking has to serve Lord. And when we will consider, or when we will with full faith and love consider ourselves the servant of Lord, or loving eternal servant of Lord, then we will develop a pure love about Lord. Otherwise it will be like considering ourselves body or somebody, and it will create only the envious feeling about the Lord. When we will think that I am somebody, or I am body, then we will have only the feeling of envy in our heart, and it is combined with all other anarthas. So we have to think deeply on this issue, and we have to cultivate in us the servitude and the serving attitude, as well as the feeling of I am the pure, loving, affectionate servant of the Lord. And this is the takeaway message from this verse. Now we will turn for the next verse. एहि कलि काले आर नाही कोन धर्म, वैष्णव वैष्णव शास्त्र यही कहे मर्म. Translation: In this age of Kali, there are no genuine religious principles other than those established by Vaishnava devotees and the Vaishnava scriptures. This is the sum and substance of everything. Now, here Krishnaraj Kaviraj is explaining us the importance of Vaishnava and Vaishnava Shastra in this age of Kali. And really, it has been explained by such an exalted devotee of pure devotee of Lord, and we have to think over it, that how important it is for us to always think about this, and always to be in this thought that we are in the age of Kali, and there is no genuine religious principle other than established by Vaishnava devotees or by Vaishnava scriptures. And this is the sum and substance for everything. Wherever we go, we have to be with this thought. We have to be with this consideration. We have to be with this realization that there is no genuine religious principle other than those have been established by Vaishnava devotees. So we will focus some points from this purport. So one must have firm faith in the process of devotional service and scriptures that support it. Now we know that we must have firm faith in the path of bhakti, and while serving the Lord in the process of devotional service, we must have firm faith on the Lord Himself, and we have to faith also the Vedic scriptures also, means Sadhu Guru Shastra. We must have firm faith in that. We have to cultivate that firm faith, and it has been only achieved by Guru Shishya Parampara. We can say it has been achieved by disciplic succession only. So, if one hears the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with this faith, means we have to hear the pastimes of Lord or the activities of Lord Sri Chaitanya with this faith only. That I am nothing in front of Lord, and I am the pure, I am the eternal, affectionate, loving servant of the Lord. By this faith only we can be freed by that envious position. Otherwise, what will happen? We will be with anarthas. Though we will do the service, it will be sort of tamoguni seva or tamoguni service, like this way. And that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for such a non-envious persons. Means here Krishnadas Kaviraj is telling that Bhagavatam is made for such a non-envious person, means for such a persons who are having that Shuddha Prema or Prema Bhakti in their heart. For those persons, the Bhagavatam has been compiled for, and we have to know this fact, and for that purpose, to get purified or to get non-envious, we have to chant the holy name of Lord. We have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and this is the sum and substance of our eternal religion known as Sanatan Dharma. That is the definition of Sanatan Dharma. And by this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given given his by means given everything to us by means of training Goswamis, and the Goswamis have compiled many scriptures, and he has taught whatever is needed for the need of setting again the principles of dharma, like filtration. He has did again all the things, and like this way he has set the principles again, which have been vanished, or which he want to add in that. It is always the Leela of the Lord. Whenever he used to be, he used to come in the form of avatara. What is the purpose? We know that either he used to set the principles of dharma, or what he do? He used to send his Parshadas or Parikas or his followers to set the principles of Dharma. And that's the role of Acharya in our in Guru Shishya Parampara. Those used to set the principles, like Srila Prabhupada has set the principles for us in form of ISKCON. And that is a very great, we can say, great treasure for us. And we have to follow all the things, whatever advised. For us by means of our Guru Maharaj and our Shiksha Guru, and we have to follow all the principles advised for us, and it is the following of Guru Shishya Parampara. We have to follow Guru Shishya Parampara, or we have to follow everything by disciplic succession, and it is one of the one of the reflection of our Sanatan Dharma is what it has been described in only one term, that is Guru Shishya Parampara or disciplic succession. And for that purpose, in this Kali Yuga, a person should not envy with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, but we have to involve in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement in Krishna Bhavanamrit or in Hare Krishna movement. We have to involve in that movement, and we have to chant holy name of the Hari or Krishna, or we have to chant holy name of the Lord, and that is the some substance of this eternal religion of, or that is the some substance of the Sanatan Dharma. And Vedic literature also advises us to strictly follow the regulative principles, as well as we have to chant the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And like this way, who want to achieve the goal, what is the goal of human life? To achieve the Paramdhar, or to achieve the goal of Vrindavan. And by this way, by this by this advice, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has reflected, that whomsoever or that person who want to achieve the goal of his life, he has to chant the holy name of Lord, and has to follow the principles of Guru Shishya Parampara, or he has to follow he has to follow the advices or the vision given by the disciplic succession. Now, all Vedic literature states that we have to follow Guru Shishya Parampara, as well as we have to follow the advices or the vision given by our acharyas. Now we will switch on over next verse. चैतन्य चंद्र लीला आगाध गंभीर प्रवेश करीते नारी स्पर्शी रही तीर. Translation: The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like a unfathomable ocean. It is not possible for me to enter into it. Simply standing on the shore, I am but touching the water. Now, the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya are here. Krishnaraj Kaviraj is again comparing these pastimes of Sri Chaitanya with ocean, and what he says, that it is not possible for me to enter into it. Simply by standing at the shore, I am but touching the water. Just I am touching the water by standing at the shore. Like this way, the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya are like a great ocean, and we can't even imagine that how means how deep that ocean is, and we have to just stand at the at the shore, and we have to simply by standing at that shore and by just touching the water, we have to hanker about the leelas and about the pastimes of the Lord. And it is the vision he is giving to us, that what's our duty, that we must have greed, or we must hanker to hear the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya. And it's like a vast ocean, and we have to stand at the banks of ocean or shore of the ocean, and it's like touching just water when we hear the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, just like touching just water at the shore, but we are not touching the depths. So for touching the depths, we have to practice our austerities more and more. We have to be devotional more and more, and we have to surrender in front of Lord, like I am His loving, affectionate servant, and at that time we will be able to enter in that deep ocean, or we will be able to have a deep dive in that ocean, and that's the takeaway for us by this verse. Now we will switch to next verse. चैतन्य चरित श्रद्धा शुने यही जन यते विचारे तत पाय प्रेम धन. The more one hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith, analytically studying them, the more one attains the aesthetic riches of love of Godhead. Now we are knowing by this verse the benefits of hearing the pastimes of Lord, and those are nicely discussed in this translation. That the more and more one hears the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, he will develop the faith more and more, and analytically when he studies those pastimes, the more and more he gets that aesthetic love about the Lord, and there are more and more chances to advance in the path of bhakti, and to attain our goal of life, and to achieve the supreme personality of Godhead, or to achieve the Paramdham, or we can say to achieve the goal of Vrindavan. And this is the importance about hearing the Krishna Katha, or this is the importance of Shravan Bhakti. What are our ears? Our ears are the doors of our heart, and so we have to hear the pastimes of Lord for purifying our heart. Our heart has become very we can say it has become very hard like a stone, and we have to make it very delicate by hearing pastimes of Lord, and it is the process of bhakti that will melt our heart, and it will make soft and also by that soft heart we will be able to achieve that bhava and prema in bhakti, and by achieving this bhava and prema we will be able to exchange the love about Krishna, or our love about Krishna. Otherwise, if we are with our stony hard hearts, and we are not having bhava and prema about Lord, then how will you share our our love about Krishna? It's not possible, because it's not purified. And so in order to purify our hearts, melt our heart, we have to do pure devotional services, and by that attitude that I am the very affectionate and loving servant of the Krishna, by this serve the Krishna, and this will affect our hearts, and this will create or this will melt our heart. And by this way, when one hears the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya with faith, and analytically studying them in different leelas, how Lord Chaitanya has behaved, and by analyzing, studying, and thinking over that, what the devotee will achieve, he will attain the more and more aesthetic riches of love of Godhead. Now we will turn to next verse. त्रिरूप रघुनाथ पदे यार आश चैतन्य चरितामृत कहे कृष्ण दास. Shri Rup translation: praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rup and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy, I Krishna Dasa narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Here, as always, Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, at the end of each chapter, what Krishnadas Kaviraj has did, he has prayed to Sri Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Goswami, and he has desired their mercy, because we have to follow footsteps of our Purvarti Acharyas, and also we have to get the blessings of our Acharyas, and we will get when we will pray our Acharyas, we will get their mercy and love, and by this way, uh, because of their mercy and love, we will be able to do the pure devotional services, and for that reason, Krishnadasa always used to pray Sri Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, and because of their mercy and because of their blessings, he is able to narrate us Chaitanya Charitamrita, and um, these are his thoughts, and by these thoughts we have to be as a devotee means we have to be always while doing devotional any type of devotional service or while we are doing devotional services, what will be our thought, that because of Lord's mercy, because of mercy of pure Vaishnava, we are getting this service, and it's their mercy. It's not because of myself. I'm not worthy of doing any service, but because of their mercy, I am getting the opportunity to serve. I think time is over, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chapter also completed. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for nicely glorifying the concluding session, concluding chapter of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu's coming return to Jagannath Puri. Mataji, you want to add something more? We have a few more minutes to.
Yeah. I thought that time is over because I
Time
have.
is anyway. Chapter is also completed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have any
We
points to add to conclude, then a couple of minutes you can.
no, just I was explaining that point that how is approach of us for doing any seva. Just I have completed it and the session has been ended. So no worries, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for nicely explaining. Actually, today's session actually throws a lot of echo messages for us. One is that, as Mataji is explaining, um, what should be our mood to hear pastimes of the Lord, be it Lord Chaitanya Prabhu's pastimes or Lord's any other incarnation, any other activities of the Lord in this material world, and he comes taking a different incarnation. So, what should be our mood? Mataji has explained that we should hear with a love and devotion, um, and also we must be. We always wonder that we are practicing this Krishna consciousness for so many years, uh, but why are we not advancing? So that answer also we get in this today's session, that whatever activity, whatever devotional service we do, Mataji explained nicely that we must do it with a firm faith in the process of devotional service. So Mataji explained in the purport of verse 362 that in this age of Kali, there is no genuine religious principle other than the established by Vaishnava devotees and Vaishnava scriptures. So this is the sum and substance of everything. So the secret is when we wonder that why am I not advancing in Krishna consciousness? I'm practicing for so many years. So here is the answer which Srila Prabhupada is giving, that what we do, the process of devotional service, what we practice, we must have the faith. If we don't have the faith, it doesn't work. It is just like a medicine which a doctor gives. Like or Manmohini Mataji she's a doctor by profession. She knows she's treating both body as well as the soul. So now today she has taken a role of a Shiksha Guru, treating us as a soul doctor. So she is giving a nice message to us that whatever medicine we take, even for bodily diseases, it won't work unless we have the faith. That actually works very nicely. The faith itself cures of the disease. So then the prescription of doctor and the way doctor prescribes. So he says, do this, do this, do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So then medicine we take, then it perfectly works. First of all, we don't have the faith on the doctor, then we don't follow the instructions. Suppose he says, doctor says we are suppose we are diabetic, doctor says don't eat sweets. So, but we are so attracted to eating sweets. So, how this process will work? So, whatever even kgs or kgs of medicines you take, also it will not cure your disease. Same way, even Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada explains that in verse 362 Purport, one must have firm faith in the process of devotional service and the scriptures that support it. So, all the scriptures say this point that practice this devotional service with complete faith in it. Then automatically it works. Prabhupada says that if one hears activities of Chaitanya Prabhu with faith, he can be freed from his envious position. So we don't have to remain in this material world unless Lord wants us to be here for some preaching activities, or we have some responsibilities, some duties given by the Lord to spread. But otherwise, we don't have to remain here. We'll be free from the material entanglement. So the secret is hearing activities of the Lord with complete faith. And the last message which Mataji is giving, the last sloka, which is common for almost every chapter, Krishna Goswami repeats this. He says that he prays to the lotus feet of his spiritual master, his Guru Parampara. He always takes the names of Rupa and Raghunatha, and always desiring their mercy. So whatever activities we do, we must do it following footsteps of acharyas. Otherwise, things will not work. We may start doing with our own whimsical way. Whatever we feel it is good, it is right, we perform. So it won't work. So we must practice this with one is of faith, then practicing devotional service with the faith, then hearing activities of the Lord, then do all the activities, all the devotional service by following footsteps of Acharya. So these are the combination of things. If we follow, then automatically the devotional service will be fruitful and will achieve the result of the devotional service. Krishna Prema is guaranteed. If it is not happening, then it is not a fault of the process. It is a fault of us who are not following the process, the prescription given by the doctor. Now, Mataji has given a wonderful prescription. Now it is for us to take it and practice the process, prescription given by Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thanks once again for nicely concluding, explaining this session. So, any devotees, do you have any questions, comments? Mataji is here. Mataji can take up the questions and comments, if any. Mataji, everywhere looks like completely mesmerized. They are in different world. So you've taken us to a different world today.
It's Lord's mercy, mercy of Guru and Gauranga. We are nothing in front of those.
So, thank you, Mataji. Mataji, you can conclude the session. So we'll end the session.